Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
And hello, everybody. I am Michael.
I'm John.
And I'm Andrew. And together we are the Brothers Newland. You're listening to the Toy Rewind Podcast. Hopefully you got that. Either you've listened to the last 40 episodes or you paid attention when the song was playing and the guy said it. So hopefully you're right where you want to be, because we have a fun, quick episode on wheels racing down. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's like lightning. But not in a bottle. It's lightning in a car. We're talking about Johnny Lightning, the car line this week. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But it's a lot of fun for Michael and a lot of education for me and John. So speaking of John, he's there and he knows where everybody can find us. So can you run us through those, John?
Yeah. So check out our website, toyrewindpodcast.com. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch.
Sorry, I'm dancing.
Me?
No. I'm still got the music going.
Okay. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Yeah, he's like.
It sounded like a Seinfeld intro. You know, with the little popping noises.
Oh yeah.
Okay, go ahead, John. Sorry.
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. All Toy Rewind Pod, Facebook and YouTube, Toy Rewind Podcast. We do stream our Toy Box showcases when we have them to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Check out our podcast bingo, podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind. We have a lot of those, and Andrew's done several for other podcasts too. And then, of course, every now and then we do our collector showcase with our friends from the Geek Together channel. So.
Yep, be sure you're following those, because we have some that we're lining up dates for. So we'll have some announcements for those. Hopefully soon. Hopefully pretty soon. So there was something else I was thinking about. Oh, the bingo. We should maybe, we're all wearing hats now. But okay, so I do want to say it wasn't that, it was the showcase. Our collector showcase, not a collector showcase, the Toy Box showcase. Yeah. I'm totally confused with what I was thinking about. So I know you guys have a lot to open. Have you got anything new this week that we're going to be opening? I know Michael maybe got a few things since the last time we talked. Do you have more? Yeah, do you have more Transformers that you got in?
I haven't got anything new this week. Grimlock and Wheelie was the last two I got.
Okay, I don't remember when you got those. I just remember you saying you.
Yeah, I just got those. Are the last ones I got.
Michael's probably got about 4 of those already lined up.
Yeah, no, I take that back. I got Stinger in after Grimlock.
Oh, okay. I was thinking we had more.
Here.
So
he's over here too. If you could, he's just hiding in the corner. But
so
it's already been previously opened from the guy who I bought it from. That's why I got a good price on it. But everything's there, and he's in good shape.
We got to get those. We maybe get one lined up this week. I got some new Turtles coming in. I'm waiting to. Hopefully they'll be in before the end of the week. So it'll be fun to open those, and that'll be a little bit more, nostalgia for me.
I did get some more Auto World in, but I don't think they're chase pieces. I don't know if I'm not going to open those probably.
You can, maybe we have a thing we can show them off. We got to show some more off.
I'll
get some of these.
Yeah.
We got to get some of these Toy Box showcases out of the way.
Auto World does tie in with Johnny Lightning this week, and I'll explain why later down the line.
All right. All right. Well, yeah, make sure you're following. You get those the collector showcases, because like I said, that's going to be coming up soon. So all right, here we go. Time for our fun for all question. We have 3 fun for all questions this week, all revolving around names of cars. So here's the questions. Does your current car have a name? What did you name? Did your first car have a name? And what is the ultimate car name? So we got all that?
Yeah.
So current car, first car, ultimate car name. All right, Michael.
So current car, my truck Its name is Silver Bullet, like the
So
Lone Ranger Silver Bullet.
Oh, not the Coors Light Silver Bullet train.
No, I was thinking even call it Silver or Silver Bullet, whatever. But yeah, the Silver Bullet kind of stuck. But
That's where we need the Hi-O Silver.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And then past, I don't remember. I had a name for that green truck, but I don't remember. But I guess the kind of a name for my old '67 truck was probably the Ghost. It was kind of that color, that white grayish. Everybody said it looked gray, but it looked white to me.
I always thought it was white.
It was just house paint. Yeah, somebody painted
Yeah.
house paint on the truck. So. Yeah, most of that's paint's come off by now. So
I think we got to see it up close more than most people. Most people just saw it going down the road.
yeah.
So it did have more of a white when you're up
But
close.
you can actually see the brush strokes in it with just a paintbrush when they painted the truck. So
It wasn't even spray painted. It was brush stroke.
no,
That's pretty fun.
but the original color was white anyway. So
it just kind of shown through.
yeah.
So ultimate car name?
I don't know the ultimate car name.
Like Leroy?
Leroy would be a good name, I guess. Depends on if you got a good old boy truck or something like that. I don't know if you had like a car that gave you trouble all the time. Maybe Christine, because that's kind of creepy.
That is a creepy.
Anybody named Christine, we apologize for that.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry. Yeah. But the car is creepy.
People
I mean,
named Christine's fine, but if you got a car named Christine, that's no.
nice way to roll that back and save yourself there, Michael.
Yeah.
All right, John.
Since
Michael can't think of a good ultimate name.
Right. Well, my car now, my truck, I had to kind of stick with the cars because I got it about the time cars was coming out and everything. So it's Bow Tie Silverado.
Wait, the first cars?
So yeah.
Oh
No,
Like
it was like
no, it was a newer.
I was about to say, I don't think you've been driving that car since 2006.
we were into it with Jackson and everything at the time, and
like
yeah,
Cars
bought it.
3. Cars 3 came out, something like that.
Yeah, we named it
Okay.
Bow Tie Silverado.
Bow Tie Silverado. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
so
sense.
Bo.
All right.
It's Bo. And then I did not name my 65 Chevy pickup, so
Wow.
I don't think I named any of them other than this one. And then
Ultimate.
kind of
Oh, come on.
flashback to Nanny on this one, but I love Spotted Ape.
Oh, yeah. That's
Sorry. That was I'll never forget that.
I
She
didn't-
named
yeah,
all of
I
her
got-
cars, so
Well, I got Spotted Ape sitting right outside the
Oh,
house.
I know.
yeah,
I
Michael.
know.
It's
Do you have a
still there.
picture? Do you have an old picture of Spotted Ape that actually shows how Spotted Ape is?
I got a current picture somewhere, but yeah.
All right,
but
we're gonna have to.
Nanny named all of her cars, so
Mhm.
Spotted
Yes.
Ape's the one that stuck out the most to me for being a named car.
I don't remember what her yellow Cadillac was. She named it, but I can't remember what it was.
And
We'll have to ask Mama. She'll probably be
Yeah,
able
Mom
to
would
give
probably
you
remember
shout out to
all
Mom
of
and Dad.
I was gonna say shout out to
She's
Mom.
probably yelling at us right now if she's watching when she watches this because they don't listen to the podcast. They watch us on YouTube,
yeah.
Right.
and she'll probably be yelling at us as we're trying to talk about
Yeah.
this. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Mom. Also, shout out to Packy, our old yellow Toyota.
Yeah, we did name the
So-
Toyota Starlet. It was a
Yeah, it was a Starlet.
1982, I think it was 81, 82. I think it was 82. Yellow Toyota Starlet. His name was Packy. It was
And-
Pac-Man
Look like Pac-Man.
area. Yeah.
And did Dad's white truck have a name? His little white Toyota? No. Okay. Couldn't
The
remember.
white Toyota? No, I thought you were about the Ford truck, but no.
So for me, my first car was a GMC Jimmy, 1984 GMC Jimmy. John drove that one for a little while. Then I got it, and my friends just lovingly named it Jimmy. And it was like another person in our group. We were like, all right, so Jimmy's going with us, and it was just another person with our group. So we all knew that it was just my car. I only drove that for a few months before I got my Beretta, but I was never packing. My current car, because I went out of order. since I'm thinking about it. My current car is a black Mini Cooper, and is lovingly referred to as my Batmobile. Because, why not, right? And
That license plate that says Nana Nana Nana.
that would be great. That's probably taken, but
Yeah, probably is.
I should try. It'd be awesome. It does have bat stickers on it, so ultimate car name. I like Batmobile. I think that's pretty awesome. I got a thing for bats, but I already said it. For some reason, I like the name Leroy for a truck, like just Leroy. I don't know why. It just makes sense. So. All right. Well, anybody else out there has names for their cars? We'd like to hear them. So send them to us on Twitter. I want to see what some of your people's cars' names are. Send them to us so we can have it. So, all right. Now it is time.
Before we go on, I'd like to know how many of Nanny's cars' names Mom can rattle off.
That'd be a good one.
I'd like to know that one. How many can
you say, Mom?
And as she's watching this, she's naming them off. So.
She's naming them off. So actually, Thursday, well, whenever they watch it, maybe Friday, she's sending us text messages right now. We're all listening to these text messages.
We'll be, as soon as she watches it, all our phones are gonna go off.
Yeah. So we'll have to come back to that next week to let everybody know how many she could come up with. So all right. With that, we need to dive in because I believe Johnny Lightning has a little bit of history behind it.
A little bit. Now I learned a lot on this as well, and I reached out to a friend of mine. I have never met him in person, but I've become pretty good acquaintances with him, friends, just over social media. He is a historian. He has worked for Johnny Lightning and then some other car diecast companies. He's published several books, a bunch of books over diecast cars. He has been introduced. He was inducted into the Diecast Hall of Fame in 2010. Mac Reagan is his name, and he is a lot of knowledge. He posts. I do my daily diecast, which right now has been mostly Hot Wheel related. I need to get it set up to where maybe it'll pull up some other brands other than Hot Wheels from my database. But anyway, he does one where he's got, it used to be every day. I think it's about every other day now, but he does quite a few a week. And it's, he's got all kinds of brands that he does and the history of that model that he's posting. A little bit of the original car, the real car version, if it's a real car. And then the backstory of it and a little bit of the company that it comes from. He does cars from all different manufacturers from all over the world. And and this is all out of his own collection. So he's a world of knowledge himself. And I love seeing his posts when he does it every day or every other day. So when I see it, and I want to just give a shout out to Mac Reagan on that. So, and he has gave us some notes and some other cool info for this line too. So,
I did like that in that email. He did want to make sure that we got things right, which is awesome. That he's
yeah.
He said there was some crazy facts out there. We want to get them right. So
so I'm hoping I am. If he does listen to this and I say something wrong, I hope he contacts me and say, hey, this wasn't right, and we can go back and kind of correct it in a later podcast, later episode. So, but anyway, so Johnny Lightning. So getting into the history, so Topper Toys launched Johnny Lightning in 1969 to enter into the high-speed toy car market to compete with Hot Wheels and then Matchbox super fast models. Hot Wheels came out in 1968. Matchbox, the super fast models. Matchbox been around for years and years and years before. Then they came out with the super fast models to compete with Hot Wheels. And so Topper Toys got into it, and they had the just Johnny Lightning line to do it with. Also, there was, Hot Wheels. They had a slogan, "The fastest metal cars in the world," which was on their packaging. Well, Johnny Lightning's logo was "Beats them all," so which they said they can even beat, and they actually a lot of them were faster than the Hot Wheels were. So Johnny Lightning wanted to make sure they were even faster than the Hot Wheels. So these cars came in a variety of metallic colors with hard plastic tires that had a thin lip on the inside of the tire that helped reduce the friction due to the small amount of the tire making contact to the track. So if you're racing them, they kind of ride on a thin lip on the inside of that tire. So it kind of and they're low friction tires and axles and stuff that make those go pretty quick. So the first line in 1969 consisted of 11 cars, and then there was 4 others that were lost casting. These 4 were not produced by Topper, but were somehow ended up being produced by Lily Letty in Mexico under the name Bolitos. There was a Lincoln Continental, a Camaro, a Dodge Charger, and a Mustang Mach 1. So those 4, they were supposed to be produced, but they never were. So there was the first 11 cars were actually produced, and they're all customs, similar to what Hot Wheels had. They had the custom name in front of it because it wasn't. It was like a souped up version of the real car, so they called them custom. So the 11 that were produced for the first year, there was the custom 32 Ford, a custom Dragster, custom El Camino, custom El Dorado, custom Ferrari, custom GTO, custom Jaguar XKE, custom Mako Shark, which was a Corvette type looking car, custom Thunderbird, custom Toronado, and then a custom Turbine. All these were real cars except for the Turbine. The Turbine was a fantasy car, but all the rest of them are real production models. So
that's what I was going to ask you. Aren't most of the Johnny Lightning's real production models?
That first year was.
Okay.
So 1970, Topper released 31 new models and introduced a jet-powered line as well. This line had a bladder inside the car that could be pressurized with air, and the car had to be ran on a special track set that included an air pump to charge up the bladder, and then when placed on the track and triggered, the compressed air in the bladder discharged, providing a jet-powered boost. Something cool about this that they advertise as well is you can put like a little bit of flour in that bladder along with the compressed air, and when it was triggered, you can see it looked like it was a smoke trail coming out of the bladder. When it takes off, you see smoke coming out of the back of the car. So it's pretty cool.
I wonder how many kids got in trouble for having flour everywhere.
It said you just need a small amount of it, and I'm sure there was a lot of flour all over the place in some households. Yeah. So the jet-powered models, there was these were the names of them. There was Bubble, Flying Needle, Glasser, Monster, Screamer, and Wedge. Those are the names of those. I do have. Let me see if I can find. I got some pictures up on here that maybe I could share here in a minute for those that are watching of this 1970 line. And so there was 31 models in all, including these. So trying to get this here. Share screen. All right. I hit the button, it works. Okay. So those that are looking at home,
if you're watching
these are the
YouTube.
These are the 69 line, the names I just said, and then the 70 models. So you can see this. I'm just kind of scroll down real slow. But you had two IndyCar looking ones. There was an AJ Foyt one and Al Unser one.
Mhm.
There was a Baja. There was a Bubble, which was one of the jet powered line. There was a Bug Bomb, which was a Volkswagen Beetle. Condor, Custom Spoiler, Double Trouble, Flame Out, Flying Needle, Frantic Ferrari, Glasser, Jumpin' Jag, Leaping Limo, which doesn't really look like a limo, Mad Maverick, Monster, Moving Van, Nucleon.
I like
That
that
was interesting.
Nucleon. That's very
There's
interesting.
Parnelli Jones. It looks just like the AJ Foyt and the Al Unser. It's just a little bit different. You had Sandstormer, Screamer, Slingshot, Smuggler, Stiletto, TNT, Triple Threat, Vicious Vet, Vulture, Wasp, and Wedge and Whistler. So those are the ones that were released, and only a few of these are real cars. Like the Volkswagen Beetle. It's a souped up Beetle. There's a souped up Ferrari. There's a Ford Maverick that's souped up. Most of these are fantasy cars.
Right.
You have a Vicious Vet. That's a real, a souped up Corvette. So the second year, in 1970, they came out with a lot of fantasy looking cars.
Somebody got excited about fantasy cars. It looks like
They did.
that TNT looks pretty awesome.
And a lot, they kind of followed what Mattel was doing with Hot Wheels, because that first year Hot Wheels, the 1968 line, a lot of those were real cars that they made into, and they actually released. There was the Camaro, if I remember right. The Camaro was released. The toy was released before the actual Camaro came out on the showroom. So. But anyway, and then the second year of Mattel Hot Wheels, they started getting into the fantasy line, and that's kind of what they did here with Topper Toys, their Johnny Lightning. So
actually, it looks like a lot of these they just took the front ends and stretched it and put more engines on it.
Yeah,
a lot of them, they all got extra engines on them. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's already 2 on here. Add 3 more. It's all good.
Yeah. So, and I think I actually, out of those, I do have a couple of these. They're in storage. I do have some of these Johnny Lightning castings that came out later in the early 90s. So they were commemorative editions.
I want that
but
Nebula.
anyway, the Nebula.
Is that what it's called?
Nucleon.
Nucleon. Sorry, I can barely read it.
Yeah. So, also there were 8 unmade models for this year as well that never made it. There was an Arrow, Beep Jeep, Commuter, Dart, Fabulous Finn, Rocket 500, Skinny Mini, and Toad. So remember these for later on in the notes. We'll come across a couple of these later on down the line. So 1971 was the last year of Topper. And the Johnny Lightning line only released 5 new cars under a series called Customs. They were these were issued on a larger blister card and came with accessories that you could add to your car to customize it. The biggest problem with this concept is that these pieces get lost, and it's hard finding a loose and complete. It's really hard to find one that's has all the pieces. So there's a Big Rig, Harry Holler, Pipe Dream, Twin Blaster, Wild Winter, and that's the 5. So they had extra parts, like the Big Rig had a little on top of the exhaust pipes. You slid on a like an extra spoiler type thing. Yeah. The engine had an extra engine piece, which made it bigger. They all came with let's see. So the Big Rig, it came with a dual turbo adapter for the top of the engine, white wing that slides on top of the exhaust pipes. They all had a set of flame stickers, and they all had wheel slicks to enlarge the rear wheels. The Harry Holler had a black roof and hook piece because it was more of a tow truck looking thing. It had a chrome side mounted pods, which slid over the exhaust pipes to make it look even wilder. And it had the stickers, flame stickers, and slicks. The Pipe Dream had a black rear roof that slid on top of the cockpit, and it had a black nose cone, which made it even longer. And then also had had a chrome top mounted engine, and instead of flame stickers and wheel slicks, Twin Blaster had a front and rear spoilers that you could add to it. Chrome side mounted engines and stickers and wheel slicks. And then Wild Winter had front and rear spoilers as well that you add to it. And a chrome side tanks that slid over the slid on the side to make it look even fancier. And then flame stickers and wheel slicks. So by the end of 1971, which I believe what I read was Topper Toys was forced to close due to bankruptcy. And then Johnny Lightning was shelved. So that was it of Johnny Lightning. So, or was it? So,
I mean, we still got a long time to talk, so hopefully not.
Yeah.
So first off, I want to address something about these cars. This was 1970 and 71 when the crazy ones started to come out that weren't actual models. And that coincides with Hanna-Barbera's 1968 release of Wacky Racers. Were they just trying to design cars for the show?
They kind of seem like it because these, especially these, the third year from 1971, the customs ones, they all looked like they could be on Wacky Racers.
Every single one of them could have been a Wacky Racer car.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is just something going on in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, and even like I said, Mattel had crazy castings like this too.
Yeah, and they just expected this is what the cars of the future looked like.
Right.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Where's my super long car that has 4 engines?
Yeah. With extra spoilers everywhere on it. Yeah.
Right. It helps it go faster.
So we're going to fast forward to 23 years later. So Johnny Lightning ended in 1971. You thought that was the end of it, but in 1994, along came an entrepreneur named Tom Lowe.
Entrepreneur,
Tom Lowe.
Okay.
Which is my new hero, kind of, sort of. He had just founded Playing Mantis, a toy line that wanted to not just appeal to kids' toys, but he wanted to adults feel the nostalgia of past toys, kind of like what we're doing here with with their Transformers and all the stuff that we have here, our Turtles and Masters of the Universe and all that kind of stuff. So that's what he had, this vision in 1993 to start a company that appealed to the nostalgia of these past things. So he was a collector himself, and all this stuff. So after 23 years of being shelved, Tom Lowe secured the rights and the unprotected trademark name of Johnny Lightning. So this was so from the original models, and this is a question I asked
Mac.
I asked Mac, were these the original molds that he got, and Lily Letty even ended up with a lot. I don't know how they ended up with some of these molds, but they produced a lot of these cars for Mexico for those Bolitos line as well. But Tom, he replied back, says Tom never used any original topper molds. So all the models he had were created from new molds and were copies of the originals. So But they were updated with new metal base plates and new paint and new wheels. They were all a little bit different. So the original models, there was 8 introduced that Tom put out for Johnny Lightning. There was the Bug Bomb, the 32 Ford Roadster, the El Camino, the GTO, the Jaguar XKE, the Moving Van, the Vicious Vet, and the Wasp were the 8 that he brought back for his first releases. And then more realistic models and concept cars followed, and a new concept, something that they came up with, which started the big craze and everything. You know, he's been kind of deemed the guy who kind of brought back the nostalgia of these cars. And the 90s, especially the mid 90s, collecting these diecast cars kind of blew up. And then all these, the term chase that we have with all these other toy lines, like you said, with Funko Pops or anything like that, there's chase models. And, you know, Hot Wheels has their treasure hunts. Well, Tom came up with something. They came up with something a year before Mattel did with their treasure hunts, and they had a bonus car. So Playing Mantis had begun releasing a limited number of each model painted in pearl white, and were initially called a bonus on the packaging, and that evolved into the popular White Lightning chase car. So you kind of give Tom Lowe credit for coming up with the chase idea for everything since then. You know, it was you know, the White Lightnings, and then Mattel came out with their treasure hunts, and then the other die-casts like Greenlight have their green machines. The Auto Worlds I love to collect, my favorite brand, have Ultra Reds and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of stems down to that, yeah.
So it's his fault that I have to go and get these extra and search and pay more to get these extra ones that are special and have a little sticker on them that look almost exactly the same as the others.
And
okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Well, the whole idea.
He's your hero and my arch enemy. So I mean, it's all good.
So the whole idea was that he was bringing people into the stores more often because they were all looking for this special bonus car. And so the more times they were in there, the more stuff they would buy. And, you know, and they were kind of piggybacking off of, you know, the NASCAR craze, you know, which was picking up at the time as well. People were going in looking for their winter circles and stuff like that. The NASCAR winter circle stuff. And then, and they would see this and they would start picking them up, and then, you know, they would be in there. And like now there's collectors that are in the stores every morning or every night, and searching for these cars. So they're actually purchasing more and more. So it gets them into the store more and more. They're buying more and more, which was a cool idea. You know, now it's kind of a headache sometimes because we can't find, you know, just normal people can't go in and just find things. You have to be a pallet raider or something like that, or be the first door warmer in the morning, you know. But anyway, it's all about the chase. It was a great idea to bring people into the store even more to look at these and that they buy more. So kind of move them out quicker.
It's kind of a fun thing to do, though, to go for that chase and look for that and be those door warmers and those pallet raiders. Because I've got a few pieces that I found that way. So I mean, it's fun.
I have. I've never actually. Well, if I see something on a pallet, if it's on top, I may grab it. If it's underneath some stuff, I probably won't because I don't want to, you know, get in anybody's way. So, but there's guys that will go out there and start tearing down a whole pallet, and just to grab something off the bottom, and then they leave stuff everywhere, and then the employees get mad and everything. But it's but I have seen that happen. a lot of it is, with the Hot Wheel collectors and stuff like that. And, some of them, I know some people, we call them, some people call them flippers and stuff like that. So,
Yep.
but it's just, just to make that extra buck. But I try to find one just to, I've said it before, I'm a set builder, so I have to have that to complete my sets. So that's why I get it. And if I find a couple, I use the extras to trade or something for whatever I need. Yeah, something I need. I may sell it to get the money to turn around and buy what I need.
There you go.
I don't ever do it to make a profit. You can't make a profit off this stuff anyway.
Not really.
But anyway, going back to this, so late 1994. So this was the original models, original 8 were introduced, and then in late 94, Johnny Lightning debuted the Muscle Cars USA line. That became a foundation of the new Johnny Lightning brand. So, so in 1995, they introduced the Muscle Cars USA, which was the first round of cars. All 10 cars were introduced at the same time. I thought maybe, my thinking, I'm not a big Johnny Lightning fan to start off with back in those days, so I didn't know all this. That's why I asked. I thought maybe they kind of introduced some of these cars individually and then came up with the whole set later, but actually the set was the first time these cars were released. And they were all U.S. car models is what they were, American car models. So each year, Playing Mantis introduced new themes throughout the years. They added dragsters, they added pickup trucks, they added pace cars. There was a line of Corvettes. There was a James Bond line. There was a police line. There was Mustangs. We were talking about this before the show. There's a military line. They have a lot of military vehicles. They had Hollywood line. And then they had a line of Coca-Cola products, Coca-Cola themed cars. And I've got a lot of different ones. I've got some James Bond ones. I've got, they've got all kinds of different themes that they have on some of these lines. So in 1995, Playing Mantis released a commemorative line called the Lost Toppers, which included the original 4 Lost Toppers, which was the Camaro, the Charger, the Lincoln, the Mustang. Those 4, like I said, were supposed to be in the original line, and they weren't. So they released this set that had the 4 toppers, 4 lost ones, and then they also included 4 previously unmade ones, the ones that I talked about a while ago. So there was out of those 8 that I listed earlier, there was 4 of them they brought back. So there was Beep Peep, which is actually the Jeep, the Commuter, the Skinny Mini, and then the Toad. Those were the 4 that come back that were never produced to start off with. This set also included a first shot series called the Zamac, or however you want to pronounce it. Everybody says it a little bit differently. Which Zamac is pretty much just bare metal, no paint. It may have a clear coat over it sometimes they don't. But it's just the raw metal of this casting with nothing on it. So in 2004, there was Playing Mantis was sold to RC Ertl, who later became RC2. RC2 started out as racing champions that also produced a lot of NASCAR diecasts. And then they acquired Ertl in 1999, so they kind of combined to become RC Ertl, and then RC2 was the name by the end of it. So in 2011, RC2 was bought by Tomy, who produced Johnny Lightning up till 2013. So so Tommy was actually is who actually owns Johnny Lightning right now.
I was going to say right now.
Yeah. So they still own the rights and everything, but it kind of passed around a little bit. So going back to the RC2 days of this, the early to mid 2000s or late, the end of the 2000s there. I kind of asked this question to Mac as well. Did RC2 try to continue what Playing Mantis was doing, which was with the different themes and stuff like that, or did they go a different direction? Now he replied back. He said for 2 years they kind of went because he worked for Playing Mantis, and then when RC2 bought him out, he went with them with RC2, and he was there for a few years as well with them. But he said in 2009, RC2, which was kind of then called Learning Curve, introduced the plastic chassis, which was the 40th anniversary series, and all but dropped the releases with the classic Johnny Lightning metal base. Realism also suffered during this time, and there were some quality issues that were later improved, but at the time they had some quality issues with this. In 2010, Learning Curve introduced the Forever 64 line, which was a continuation of the plastic chassis cars launched the year earlier. The company ended Johnny Lightning production in 2013, which was after Tommy had bought them, and then they just kind of shelved them from there. I don't remember ever seeing any of the Playing Mantis cars on the shelves around our area. I don't remember seeing any of the RC2 cars around, but I do remember the Tommy for the couple years that they still produced Johnny Lightning. I do remember seeing those in Walmart and everything. But it just didn't last long. So, like I said, until they discontinued the Johnny Lightning line again. So it kind of got shelved again. It's already spent 20 something years on the shelf, being shelved. And then Tom Lowe brought it back. And then by the time Tommy got a hold of it, they said, that's it, no more, and off. So I did ask this question again, another question to Mac about this. Just why did Tommy decide to shelve it? So the diecast craze started to slow after, around 2004. And then by 2007, Learning Curve started moving away from the diecast and into more profitable lines such as cars, more of the kid stuff, baby stuff. So they did car seats for babies, and then bottle warmers. And then they've publicly announced that they said that that they were going to end all diecast production, which included the Racing Champions, Ertl, and then Joyride was another one that they had as well. So Racing Champions was done. Ertl was done. But they did still produce the Ertl tractors throughout that time. But all the other diecast was done for. Let's see what else. So Tommy was the reason why they just said the diecast market is not as big as it used to be during the early the late 90s, the early 2000s. It starts to dwindle, so it's not profitable anymore, so they just cut it out completely.
I can see that. I mean, it is saturated with a lot of different lines right now.
Yeah, you were getting about that time. You were starting to see Greenlight show up, Muscle Machines, which is now M2, but they still have Muscle Machines. They have M2. Hot Wheels started producing a lot of adult lines throughout that time. Some more higher dollar cars.
Adult lines.
Johnny Lightning did have a release of Playboy Playmate of the Year set. So if you want to go adult line, that's that. So
interesting.
Yeah, interesting. So anyway, but yeah, they kind of more of the collectors, the most of these, and they were going higher dollars, so they couldn't keep that price point down that it needed to be to make a profit. So, so they just kind of that was it. So, so in 2013 was the end of it, you know, or was it again? So in early 2016, Round 2, which was a new company owned by the one and only Tom Lowe, who came back, the same Tom Lowe from Playing Mantis, he licensed the Johnny Lightning name and vehicle line from Tomy and was making Johnny Lightning once more, along with sister lines of Auto World, which is Auto World, and the Racing Champions Mint, which I don't have. I've got one, but I don't have it here with me. But those are the ones he brought back for Round 2. He, from what I understand, he was sad that Johnny Lightning went away, and he wanted to bring it back, and he used he bought into the Auto World, which we talked about a little bit in our slot car thing, because they were big slot car producing stuff back in the 60s and 70s. Anyway, so he got into that. And he had already got into the slot car stuff with Playing Mantis, bringing back a lot of the Aurora and the I'll think of it here in a minute, but we talked about it all in the other these lines in the slot car episode. But he brought that back and started producing new bodies and stuff for all these slot cars. So the Auto World line also has slot car releases as well. So he does those. Round 2 also has a lot of model kits that they do. They've got the rights to a lot of these model kits that was produced during the 60s and the 70s, and they put those out along with these diecast cars. So that's why, and it used those to raise the money to be able to bring Johnny Lightning back. So the Playing Mantis logo also returned to the front of the packaging for continuity with previous produced Playing Mantis Johnny Lightning cars. So some of those sets that they had as Playing Mantis, just as soon as he started bringing back Johnny Lightning under Round 2, there's just continuation of what he had with Playing Mantis. So, you had Muscle Car USA, or they had Street Freaks, the black and white series. I'm trying to remember some of these series off the top of my head. But he continued those into the new lines, which had been years before. But the other companies didn't continue after taking over. So anyway, in addition to help with the promotion and the marketing and the design and all this other stuff for his company, he actually brought back 4 original guys he had from his Playing Mantis team. So he brought back Tony Karamitsos, Mike Gruthis, Mac Reagan, and Scott Johnson. I don't know anything about Scott Johnson, but Mac came back for a little while, and then he moved on to do other things. But Tony and Mike are still with Round 2 to this day, and they do a great job designing and promoting and everything they do for Round 2. So that's pretty much the history. So in 19, going back a couple little trivia things on this. So in the 90s, we kind of touched on this. Sales of diecast cars surged At the time, many store buyers credited Johnny Lightning and Tom Lowe as a major force behind that trend. And then the same thing with the Johnny Lightning introduced the chase car in 1994, almost a year before the Hot Wheels treasure hunt models. They were, like I said, they were called Bonus, and then soon changed to White Lightning because of the white color they used. Another little tidbit I asked Mac was if he worked on any of the what was the first casting that he worked on. He never really created any castings, but he worked at Johnny Lightning as a brand manager. His main duties, he helped create schedule of release of each year. He developed new assortment themes. He got to choose every car for every assortment. He specified the deco schemes for all cars. And then he helped choose new castings, which was a group effort as well. And then I also asked him how many different auto manufacturers did Johnny Lightning license from, and what was the hardest to obtain. He said about every car that was licensed, the vast majority of the vehicles for the line were American made. And he said Aston Martin was probably the most strict for him to license. He said everything had to be perfect for Aston Martin. The shade of the color, the red paint, if that was red, to any facts about the real car used on the package. So any info they had, you know,
I mean,
he said Aston Martin was the strictest that he had to deal with. So,
that makes sense.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, look at their cars now. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's pretty much the history of Johnny Lightning. You know, it came for a few years and it disappeared for a long time, and then came back for several years, and then disappeared for a couple more years, and it's back. So you know, pretty much Tom Lowe is the guy that
I mean, he's your hero.
mastermind bringing it back. So
I would like to state, in case he hears this, he's not my nemesis. He's my wallet's nemesis. So
Right.
I just want to make sure that's cool. Me and Tom are good, but just not my wallet. Always looking for those chase pieces.
You know, I don't remember any other kind of chase piece before White Lightnings, and you know, I didn't know until not too long ago that the White Lightnings came out before treasure hunts.
Yeah.
And you know, and like my first introduction to Johnny Lightning was the Tommy era, the couple years there. But like I said, in 1994, when Tom brought it back, he brought it into Walmart's. Toys R Us carried his cars. You know, and you know, it's him because there's more out there, more companies that have come into the fold other than just Mattel, which at the time owned both Hot Wheels and Matchbox, which they still own both of those. But that was pretty much Mattel kind of cornered the whole market after they bought Matchbox. So there wasn't really any other there was some cheap toys here in the U.S. Now there was some other lines outside the U.S. And if you ever see any of Mac Reagan's things, you can see where some of his stuff that he posts that he would find some cars that were foreign cars that were brought in the U.S. for like Woolworth exclusive cars and some of those old department stores like that. They would bring in outside manufacturers to be their store car. So, but a lot of info from him.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. I love the fact that we were able to reach out to somebody to get a lot of that information because, you know, we want to make sure the information we provide here is right. And he was. And I
wish I would have. Yeah, if I had a few more days in on this, I could have asked him more questions. But I knew we were recording pretty early, and I didn't get to make my notes till the day before yesterday, and I sent that to him late, and he was it was awesome that he was able to reply pretty quick back to me. So
Yeah, we are recording this one pretty early for the week, just trying to get things done. Mostly because today is your anniversary, and I know I know Aunt Rainey's going to listen to this, so happy anniversary to the YouTube.
Happy anniversary.
Even though
20,
she's going to hear this,
23 great years with her. Yes.
yeah, she's going to hear this way late, but I texted her earlier, so it's not like a big issue. And along with that, tomorrow is over here John Boy's birthday, so
What?
Happy birthday.
so happy birthday early from us, and then also at the same time happy birthday late from us, since this won't come out for a few more days. But it's all good. We keep it a little interesting recording schedule here. I know I learned a lot from this just listening to you talk about it. And I personally don't, besides you having them, I don't know the difference between a Hot Wheel, a Matchbox, well, maybe Matchbox a little bit, or a Johnny Lightning or whatever. I know Auto Worlds are all real cars.
And no, Auto World, the cool thing about Auto World, they're true 1/64 scale.
Yeah, that's
so
the
they're
part. They're all
all
real cars and they're all 1/64 scale.
Whereas Hot Wheels and Matchbox and M2 and Greenlight, they're pretty much, they say 1/64th, but they're made to fit the blister,
Right.
the packaging, and not really. Whereas Auto World, they would actually come with little boxes, like I showed you this one here. It would come with a little box that you can store it in, similar like Matchbox did back in the day. Well, once they got into the new castings, some of these new ones, I don't have one right here with me, but some of these, when they're true 1/64th, they are bigger. So they're bigger than what that box can hold. So they kind of had to discontinue using the boxes, which a lot of people use to store their cars in. But
why would you store a car in a box?
Because it's a Matchbox. You would store it in a Matchbox, and then Matchbox gets their car name, and they just have to steal that.
Yeah. And if you see, like Hot Wheels, they have motorcycle castings as well. Well, the motorcycle is just the same size as the car. Well, in real life, they weren't. So if Auto World ever did a motorcycle one, it would be true 1/64. So it would be, however, be that big. It'd be little bitty compared to the actual car. So yeah, so that's one thing I like. And then they're highly detailed. Auto World uses factory colors, and the engine specs and everything that they have in there are true to factory production models and everything. That's why when I got into Auto World when it came out, that's what drew me to that line. I still collect Hot Wheels as well, because that was my true number one, that my very first love into diecast cars. But my new number one is Auto World, and thanks to Tom Lowe, and then even with the Johnny Lightning that he when he brought it back the second time, it all spurs, it all kind of works together. There's some, I know the truck, he is using the Auto World truck and some of the other Auto World castings in the Johnny Lightning line to make they're kind of cross merchandising the Auto World into Johnny Lightning as well. So which is pretty cool. So
yeah, I like the fact that they're, I don't know, it's just kind of cool. They keep it. I do think it's crazy that one guy has brought this back so many times.
Yeah. And then talking about Tony Karamitsos, Tony Karamitsos, I actually got a couple of his cars here with his autograph on them as well. So, which is pretty cool. So, and I have a Johnny Lightning. Hold on one second. Let me grab something real quick.
Okay, he's going to grab something real quick.
So fill some space here.
Fill some space. We're going to talk about some things. So what have you learned, John? Tell me what you've learned.
I like all the cars and everything, but one thing that really stuck out to me doing the Dill, and Michael didn't really touch on it, but is the racetracks and stuff that they came out with back in 69, 70.
Yeah.
And they were like watching those, looking at those racetracks, watching the commercials for them. I really wish we would have had some of those. They looked so much fun. But the neat part about them was the fact that they didn't use batteries, they didn't use wires, cables, or anything. It was just shooting the cars that you just propelled across down the track and everything. So I thought it was pretty cool.
A cool thing about the early, the toppers was they have a little thing on the bottom of the base that
The hook.
it had a little hook to it, and it would shoot the car through the track. Whereas Hot Wheels had their the little thing that's
It's the spinners, the rollers.
It shoots it. My mind's blank again on that. I know what they are, just can't think of it.
Right.
Boosters. They're boosters that would shoot the car down the track. Well, Johnny Lightning had the little hook things that would sling it down the track. So
to the layman's, those are just turners, spinners.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting watching the deal and just watching the cars shoot down there. And they said that one of them was like 33 feet, I think, and it took it 1.8 seconds for it to make the track.
That's crazy,
dude. That's fast.
Yeah, really fast. Something I just grabbed real quick was I have this. I think it's 2005 Johnny Lightning Collector Club. It comes with a little pin. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
But the collector car for this was a 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W30.
Very nice.
And it comes with a certificate of authenticity, and it's got Mac Reagan's signature on it because he was the one that picked it out, that put it all together, and come up with the paint scheme and everything. So it's a beautiful car.
You're gonna have to get some good pictures of that so we can post it.
Yeah, I will. And I got some other Johnny Lightnings. Like we were talking about military earlier. I've got some military GMC trucks here. We were showing John earlier. Got those, and I've got some others. I will have to take pictures and post them as well because I have quite a few Johnny Lightnings that I've gone back and picked up now that I know more about them over the last few years. Because I really didn't have very many. The Tommy line, the Tommy era, I did pick up a few of them. Most of them were some trucks, and then there was some Monte Carlos from the 86, 87 model Monte Carlos. There's an Aero Coupe too they made, which is one of my favorite cars ever made was the 86, 87 Monte Carlo Aero Coupe. So
I think you should just take over the Instagram for like a week and just post all those.
Right.
Just post them like crazy.
I might do that. Yeah, we'll start. Yeah, as soon as this is released, I'll start putting some out and showing. So
yeah. So all right. Well, we need to do our rankings real quick. So let's look at this. Let's take a look at our rankings. I already know. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all know where they're at, but I know exactly where mine's going. So, but I'm last. That's just how it works. So, Michael, I do also like the fact that you're still wearing the same hat you were wearing the day we took our pictures. So
I still haven't gone out and bought me a new hat for this season.
It's a new season.
Like I said before, the history of the hats, I buy one every year for the new season. And then this was from 2019. And then last year's season wasn't much of a season. I never made it to the ballpark or anything like that, so I never picked up a new hat. And then this year is already a quarter of the way through, a third of the way through, and I still haven't picked up a new hat. But I will. I just haven't done it yet.
One of these days. I'm ripping my new Avs hat. So
and I I kind of like the picture that you put up there. It was just me with this goofy face and my hat is kind of crooked.
Your hat's crooked.
Yeah, it's crooked.
Yeah.
But,
might need to relook at redoing our pictures.
Maybe.
Yeah, because John is not as clean shaven as he is now. Yeah, he's kind of trimmed up since then too.
I've trimmed since then also.
It goes in
Yeah.
spurts.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's get your ranking. What's your ranking?
I'm gonna rank these. It's being diecast cars, and it's my number one collector. It's gonna be number one. It's gonna beat out Superpowers. Yeah.
I was thinking it was going to be number 3, but then when you said, I don't know, you said something, I was like, oh, let's go number 2, and then I'm surprised number 1.
As much as I like DC Superpowers, just the diecast car version of it or the diecast car being that is what most of my collection is. 99% of my collection is diecast cars.
Yeah,
that is, it's gotta be number 1 right now.
All right, number 1. So, John, where are you placing it?
Oh man, that's a hard place. Since I'm not really big into the diecast cars and stuff, but yet I think they're pretty cool. I'm gonna go with we're gonna put it at spot 5.
Oh, number 5. You're going underneath the Ronin Warriors. Number 5.
Yeah.
So I obviously, like I said earlier, I can't tell the difference between any of these cars as to what they are until Michael was like, hey, unless it's in the blister pack, then obviously I look at the logo and I know what it is. But that's cheating. For me, it's going number 4. The other stuff I don't have a lot of history with, so it's going number 4 for me. So
talking about what we got in this week, and I told you I had some Ultra Reds come in that I might show. I did get a White Lightning as well. It is, and I've got it in another room, but it is the White Lightning of this truck here. It's a Brickyard 400 truck.
Oh, nice.
Official truck, Chevy Silverado. It is, and it's got the track equipment in the bed and everything with the Brickyard. They do a lot of Indianapolis 500 stuff too. But this is Brickyard, which is still Indianapolis, but this is the NASCAR race. But I did receive the White Lightning of this truck too. So,
cool. All right.
I'll take a picture of it as well and share it. So.
Yeah. All right, John. Give us another little rundown of where people can find us.
Rundown of where people can find us.
John. Happy birthday. John. Happy birthday.
Cupcakes. Dreamers. Piñata. Balloons.
John. Happy birthday. John. Happy birthday.
Okay, so I was trying to surprise you.
I did. I actually went through everything you had uploaded, so you must have uploaded that while we were doing this.
Yep, I had it, and I was saving it.
I looked earlier to see if anything was on there.
Like the cupcakes and piñata.
That was. I just thought the cat was the funniest. So Michael's the one that we played for Michael with his birthday is the funniest video. But I didn't want to just copy it. I had to find another one, and this was another epic one. I just thought it was funny, also with the cats. So has nothing to do with you being a cat person because you're not a cat person.
No, I mean not.
You like tigers, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So, but I just thought it was funny. Had to surprise you. So now you can tell people where they can find us, and I won't play it again. I promise.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Promise. Hands
All
up.
right. So check our website out, toyrewindpodcast.com. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube, Toy Rewind Podcast. Play our podcast bingo, podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind. If you are playing and get to this episode, I know there's several squares that you could have got that I heard throughout the whole thing. So just send them to us on Twitter or something so we can see you getting bingos or whatnot. So there you go.
Yeah,
I was watching the STS guys last night, and I came. I guess I deleted it. I came 1 square from getting a bingo from them.
Did you post it? You got to post it. It's a lot more fun when you post it.
No, all I needed was them mentioning Hollywood Funko HQ, and they never did. I hadn't heard them say anything about that for a while.
All right. Well, Larry, you need to get on that. Make sure that's happening. By the way, another shout out to me for if you listen to our last episode, and I called out Larry for having some Chuck Norris action figures. He did. I don't know if he still has them. He has not responded to me to know if he still has them.
But as soon as he posted that on there, so I had some of those, and I said, Andrew said the exact same thing. I said, I bet Larry had those as a kid, and sure enough, he did.
Yeah. We do this podcast just for Larry, so he can remember all the things that he's had as a kid and still probably has in his garage. So
we want to thank Larry and then Ed as well. They're our 2 biggest fans.
Heck yeah, those are probably our two. Those are our 2 biggest fans, keeping us going.
Other than mom and dad, shout out to mom and dad.
I mean, yeah. We probably need to add Ed and Larry into some bingo cards too, or bingo squares. Yeah, because they get mentions all the time. So those are just some free squares. All right, so make sure you're following us. Check out those socials because we're getting lots of stuff together. We're ramping back up. School's about to be out for me and John also. I mean, I don't know how much you have to deal with that, but it does help with schedules. Not having to do things early.
Speaking of John's birthday and getting old, his daughter just graduated high school too.
Yeah, she just graduated. She's about to be 18.
Yeah, she turns 18 Friday.
This week,
after this post.
The end of this week. So John, you're getting old.
John's getting old.
Well, it didn't help. One, I apologize. Y'all made me feel bad. I hadn't even told Michael and Rainey happy anniversary today. I've been so caught up with work, made me feel bad. So I texted him right after that came out. I was like, I'm so sorry. Calling myself out on that one. But I mean, Michael mentioned how many years. All right. I graduated in 1998. They got married. That's the year I shipped off to the military. I was like, oh my goodness, it's been that long.
Oh no.
That's one reason why we got married into May.
Was because of me shipping
during summer, because he was about to ship out
to
the Army, and we wanted him to be part of the wedding and all that. So that's why it ended up being the 23rd, which was that Saturday, and John's birthday was 24th, that Sunday. So it just worked out, and all that kind of stuff that we had going on there.
So that works out for you, John, because you turn 41 tomorrow, correct?
Right.
And half the time I don't know how old I am, so I have to know how old you are so that I can figure out how old I am. So yeah, next year is my 20th reunion from graduating. So you're at 23, like, geez, maybe we are getting old.
We are old. Yeah.
That's why we're talking about retro toys. All right. Make sure you're checking those. If you had fun listening to us, be sure you check out all our friends. Geek Together, Average Nerd Podcast, 4 Dorksmen, 3 Beers and a Mic, the SDS Guys, Nerdy Curious, Nerd Portraits, Movie Retakes, the Totally Rad Movie Podcast, Secondary Heroes, the Figure Booth, Second Opinion, and then obviously solely over on Twitch. And just a quick shout out from the Toy Rewind podcast over to Secondary Heroes, who just hit their 100th, and then also the 4 Dorksmen, who are coming up on their 100th episode pretty quick. So
I think they're recording 96 tonight. I think
so. I think that is, yeah. So I'm a week behind. I have to get caught up on theirs. So tomorrow I'll be behind.
You need to listen to you listen to last week's. Yeah.
I need to.
I'm so far behind on them.
That's the only one that I haven't listened to is 95.
My name was mentioned in it, so yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's always nice when your friends talk about you, as long as it's good and not behind your back.
You got mentioned in the STS guys because you're on the chat.
I was actually on the chat.
I did not get on because I was closing the store down, so I wasn't able to listen live. But I did listen as soon as I got home.
I had a rare chance to sit down and listen and watch it live with those guys.
I usually watch them live.
I don't get the chance to watch them live that often. I'm always trying to listen late, and they post like a couple weeks late sometimes. So, all right, there was something else. I don't remember what it was.
What are we doing next month?
What are we doing next month? It's
The
June.
Dusty Attic Toy Show is
I was about to say June 13th.
13th.
We will
Yes.
we'll be posting that. And we'll be posting maybe there'll be some other people there with us.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe so.
Maybe there's gonna be some other people. We're gonna see if
We
we
got
can
a
get that
shout out.
finished up.
I said something in the chat with the SDS guys, and Larry mentioned it for me.
Yeah, there you
across
go.
On his, so.
So be sure you're checking those out. Check them out over on Facebook or whatever. What are you opening, John?
Nothing.
It's loud. So yeah.
Pop a top again.
All right. Well, with all that, we've done everything. We've got it all done, and I think this one. Oh, I got to get to my little button. This one's pretty much a wrap. So, you guys agree?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, on behalf of the
It
brothers,
went by quick.
it
Like
did.
lightning.
It was like going 33 feet in 1 point something seconds.
1.8.
1.8. I couldn't remember what the number was. I did something like that. All right. Well, on behalf of the Brothers Newland, here at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.